Hey guys, it's Chaylee here, registered dietitian. I am going to be showing you how to make a very simple and easy dish for one person. As I know, living by yourself, especially during coronavirus, can be very difficult. It's not fun because you have to be in and out of the grocery store really fast, and usually you're buying things that you can use for multiple dishes, and a lot of times making dishes and recipes are made for like 4 people, and you're just one person living by yourself. That's a lot of excess food, and sometimes you don't want to eat leftovers for 3 extra days or eat it for lunch the next day and then dinner. You know, it can make food really boring. So I have a quick and easy alternative to a classic. We will be making a brie and pear grilled cheese sandwich using items from your fridge or your pantry that you could have normally. The awesome thing about this recipe is that it can be made for any type of season, so you can switch out the pear or the cheese and add peaches in the summer or Gouda or whatever cheese you want. It's just a classic style to switch up the current classic grilled cheese, make it a bit healthier, a bit more nutritious, a bit more fulfilling, and yet make it so that you don't have as much waste after dinner and still have the food available to eat it otherwise. You can eat the pear raw, you can eat the cheese with crackers or something else that you want, and of course, butter, bread, those are essential. So let's start by washing our hands. So let me get started by explaining what our ingredients we will be using today. So all ingredients were purchased at Trader Joe's. It's a grocery store, however they can be found at Hy-Vee, Baker's, any sort of run-of-the-mill grocery store. I just like to shop at Trader Joe's. It's close to my apartment, and I like their food. So our bread today will be artisan-style organic French rolls. We will be using unsalted butter, a Bartlett pear, brie cheese, salt, pepper, and thyme. So first things first is we are going to cut our bread in half. And all we're going to do is delicately turn the bread so that it's hot dog side, and you're just going to use a serrated knife and carefully slice the bread in half. And the reason why you want to be careful and use a serrated knife is that you can cut the bread carefully in half. As you can see, the thickness is pretty similar. I understand this side is rounded. However, it is flat on top, so it will sit well. So I have my butter here, and all we're going to do is just take a butter knife, cut a generous slice, that is key, and you're going to butter the outside end of your bread. And the reason why you're doing this is because you are not putting any sort of oil or butter in the pan. This is what browns your bread while you're making it, and it's very easy to save on time, save space in your kitchen. If you're like me, you have a really small kitchen and not a lot of space for everything. You try to find hacks in which you can easily save space and product within your kitchen. So I just want to know, you guys, you single people living at home, especially during this COVID, what are the ways that you guys save space in your kitchen by using ingredients? Like, what do you use to save space? What do you use? Maybe it's a cooking tool that you use that helps you save all the space. So I have one side of generously buttered bread. I'm going to do my other side now. And like I was saying, the great thing about French bread also, besides white bread, is that it offers a lot. It's just a different texture, and it offers more nutrients compared to white bread. You know, white bread just has a lot of sugar in it, and we're trying to cut down on that. And the great thing about this dish is that not only does it provide, you know, an alternative to the classic grilled cheese, which I'm sure a lot of people make frequently, especially during quarantine, where you're like, oh my gosh, like, let me make this. But this allows for an easier time to be, you know, a quick, easy dish if you work late. I know a lot of times I'm at work or I'm out of my apartment until about 6 or 7 at night, and I really don't want to come home and make a like 45-minute meal. Like, I want to make something that I can eat quickly, that's healthy and nutritious and not time consuming. Okay, so now that my bread is buttered, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut my brie into small slices. So luckily all we have to do is slice 6 thin slices of brie. Now, if you didn't know, brie is also is a French cheese. And the great thing about it is it provides so many nutrients compared to just like a cheddar cheese or another hard cheese. It's one of my favorites. I love it. I like that it's creamy. I like that it has added protein and just gets my fats in, but it's just a creamier texture and more flavorful compared to normal cheeses like American or Swiss or something. So I've taken my cheese out. As you can see, there is a brine. That's this part right here. That will not be going on your sandwich. So first I'm going to do is I'm going to slice. Here's what I'll do. I will slice off a section of the cheese that we will work with. So we will be working with this. And then I'm going to carefully, let's make sure you guys can see this, really carefully remove the brine because we won't be using that. So I've taken this off. And let me just show you the inside. So it's like I don't know if you can see it well, but it's like very creamy, very textured-y. It's going to melt really nicely in the pan. And so from there, we're going to just cut 6 small pieces. So they're going to be really gooey, going to be really globular. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. No cooking dish has to be, unless if you're like a Michelin star chef, in which, congratulations. So we're just going to take these, cut our brie. Oops, that one can be a bit thinner. So there's 4. And then remove the brie rind on the other side because there is rind on both sides. This helps keep, so brine helps keep your cheese, the inside soft. It's the hardening outside of the brie, if you didn't know what that was. So we'll put that over here. So we have our 6 slices of brie. Perfect. Okay, now we're getting ready to cut our pear. So what you're going to do is, if your pear is round and kind of lumpy like this, that's okay. An easy trick to get your pear to lay flat, to properly slice it, is to just kind of create a flat side like so. You can do this with potatoes as well, or any sort of rounded fruit. It just helps you lay your fruit or vegetable flat so that while cutting it's safer. So you're just going to go, you're going to line your pear up, and you're just going to push through and slice down the middle. And it will open like such. So now you have a cut pear. And then all you're going to do is you're going to very simply cut the stem out. I tend to be really slow at this because I never want to have any sort of injury. I'm too afraid of that. And, you could decide to peel your pear or and not keep the skin. However, for this recipe, we are going to keep the skin because that's where most of the fiber of a pear comes from, is the skin. And I am all about adding nutrients whenever I can. So we're going to do that, and then simply outline, since I don't have a melon baller to properly core, I'm just going to cut around the center so that I waste as little product as possible. So from here, we're just going to cut some thin slices of pear, and that they will be used for our sandwich. So I want to know what kind of wild or intriguing or different ways you guys have created a grilled cheese sandwich. I know when I was a kid, my best friend would always make hers with peaches. That's like how her family put them on, and I thought that looked so good, so delicious, but I never had the chance to try it. So tell me what you guys want to put in your sandwich. So after we have our sliced pear, we are finally ready to head to the stovetop to make our sandwich. Alright everybody, so I've officially moved my stuff over here. I have my pan. It is nice and hot. It's on medium heat. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take our slices of bread. We're going to put them on the stove. As you can see, it's sizzling. It's getting really warm. So we're going to do that. We're going to let it sit for kind of a couple seconds. Just let the butter really lay flat on that sandwich. You can push your bread down to make sure that it's all browning. And then on one side, you're going to start adding your brie slices. So I tend to do more on one side, less on the other, because only one side of your sandwich will be receiving the pears, because we will eventually flip our sandwich. So, alright, so I have my brie on. I'm going to let that sit for a couple seconds. Let it kind of warm up. If you want like really gooey, melty cheese, you can always put a lid over top. That kind of keeps all the heat inside, lets the cheese melt. I kind of like a crispier bread. That's just for me. So I like to leave mine kind of sit here for a minute and just kind of lay on the bread, absorb the heat, and get ready. Okay, so my brie cheese is starting to melt. So now I'm going to place my pears on this flat side. I'm just going to layer them nicely next to each other. Let them kind of lay and sit on top of each other. And then I'm going to get ready. I'm going to add some black pepper, just like a dash. Add a little extra flavor. Tiny bit of salt. And a few thyme leaves. That kind of brings this extra flavor in. It's delicious. So after we've let this sit for a second, we are about to flip our sandwich, which is so exciting. So let me grab my spatula. I've got it right here. And we are going to flip the first section of our sandwich, always the most exciting part. We're going to take it, successfully get it on there. Woo! Push it down. And then we will flip one more time. Oh my gosh, it is so buttery. It is so soft. It looks so delicious. Oh, I lost a pear. That's okay. It can always be added after. We're just going to let this sit here for a minute or two. Let it kind of warm up. Let the cheese melt. Let the pear mix with itself. And I'm going to get a plate out so I can serve this and eat it because it looks so delicious. Put my plate over here. Going to flip it one more time. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. Push it down. Let me get this extra pear out. Woo! Ooh, a grilled pear. I think that would be delicious. Let me know if you guys have any delicious pear recipes that you use, because I love pear. It's one of my favorite fruits. So now that we've let this sit, we're going to pull it off. Put it on. I have the finished product right here. It looks so delicious. The cheese is so melty and gooey. The pear is so tender. I'm going to take a bite, see what I think, let you guys know. Oh, The bread is fantastic, adds a really nice crunch to a grilled cheese sandwich. Pear adds a really nice tart flavor that mixes really well with the brie. And I just have to say, this is a great dish. This is an awesome dish for those who live by themselves, live in a tiny apartment, don't have a ton of room, and can't afford to buy tons of different ingredients for a dish that makes for 4 people instead of just 1. So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial and this demonstration. I hope you learned something, and I'd love to know what you guys think of the dish if you make it yourself. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.